They lived in a world of silk and steel, where power was the only deity and love was a dangerous prayer. He, a young king, burdened by a kingdom, weary from battles half won, victories never his own. His gaze, though sharp, held a hollowness that spoke of a soul long starved of warmth. She, a spirited princess from a fallen dynasty, whose laughter echoed the chimes of distant temples, whose eyes held the warmth of 1,000 suns. Their meeting was orchestrated, a union of convenience to mend a fractured alliance. Yet the king found solace in her sunny disposition, a balm to his tired spirit. She saw in him a wounded bird, a chance to weave a tapestry of love that would stitch the fragments of his soul. But their romance was not a secret. It bloomed openly in the grand halls of the citadel, whispering promises in the rustling of silken drapes, dancing cheek to cheek under crystal chandeliers. They made a picture of perfection, a king and his queen, their love story, the talk of the kingdom. No one could have imagined that behind closed doors, a storm was brewing, a tempest of envy and ambition that threatened to tear their world apart. Lady Alara, the king's younger sister, possessed a beauty that could have rivaled the dawn, but whose radiance was eclipsed by the queen's radiant charm. Seething in the shadows, she watched her brother surrender to love, a love that made her own existence seem more unbearable than ever. In her heart, a venomous thought took root. If she couldn't be the light, then none would. With each passing day, her envy grew, twisting within her like a vine, seeking to strangle the very sun. The queen, oblivious to the viper coiling in the king's own home, continued to bask in the glow of her happiness. She believed she had conquered the king's heart, unaware that she had also captured his trust, making it the perfect bait for the trap that lay ahead. One fateful evening, a visiting dignitary arrived, bearing a gift for the king. A magnificent jeweled dagger said to possess powers of healing. The king, intrigued, accepted the gift and presented it to the queen, believing he was offering her a token of his adoration. But little did they know that the blade was cursed, a fact cleverly concealed by the wily merchant who sought to unnerve the kingdom with whispers of sorcery and scandal. When the queen touched the dagger, the curse awoke, seeping into her veins and corrupting her essence. She began to waste away, not in body, but in spirit, her sunny disposition replaced by fits of rage and paranoia. She lashed out at the king, accusing him of treachery, her whispers echoing with venom. She began seeing conspiracies everywhere, faces that turned from her, words that seemed like taunts. In her delirium, she saw Lady Alara gleefully orchestrating it all, fueling the fires of discord with every knowing glance and venomous whisper. The king, torn between his love for his queen and his duty to his kingdom, found himself at a crossroads. On one hand, he had the enigmatic tales of the dagger, a relic of lore, spoken in hushed tones around dying campfires. On the other, he had his queen's descent into madness, her eyes clouded with pain and betrayal. Torn, he sought counsel from his advisors, each offering their own theories, their own suspicions. Some urged caution, citing the dagger's dark reputation. Others advised confronting the queen, believing her to be the source of the growing unrest. But the king, indecisive, found himself paralyzed by doubt. Days bled into nights, and the queen's condition worsened, her mind fracturing like a shattered mirror, reflecting a multitude of distorted selves. Then came the breaking point, the moment when the whispers of discontent grew too loud to ignore. A small gathering of courtiers, privy to the unfolding drama found themselves ensnared in the queen's accusatory net. One by one, she hurled accusations, her voice echoing through the grand hall, ringing with bitter scorn. You are with her, aren't you? You feed her lies and watch with glee as my light dims, as I become a mere shadow in my own castle. She gestured wildly, her eyes blazing with pain and anger, her touch leaving fiery imprints on the delicate lace of the wall. All of you, you play your parts so well, but I see through the charade. I see the smirks, hear the murmurs. Even in your silence, I hear your whispers. Her voice cracked, threatening to shatter completely. For a moment, there was only silence, a heavy shroud muffling the echoes of her accusations. The courtiers, caught in the web of her madness, shifted uneasily, their faces pale, their eyes downcast. Some denied vehemently, their words sharp and defensive. Others remained silent, their guilt speaking volumes in the queen's fevered mind. For her, it was confirmation enough. The battle lines were drawn, hearts turned traitor, and she was left standing alone in a sea of deceit. That night, the king made his decision. Torn by his love for the queen and the whispers of the dagger's curse, he chose to believe the latter. He sent for his sister, Lady Alara, summoning her to his chambers. What transpired behind those heavy oak doors remains a mystery, lost to the sands of time. But the consequences were clear. By the next morning, the queen was gone, vanished without a trace, leaving behind an empty bed and a kingdom on edge. A search party was assembled, venturing far and wide to find the missing queen. Rumors spread like wildfire, each more fantastical than the last. Some claimed she had fled, unable to bear the weight of the curse. Others whispered that she had met foul play, her absence a mere ruse to veil a darker truth. Days turned into weeks, hope into despair, and still there was no sign of the queen. The king, racked with guilt and grief, fell ill, his robust frame wasting away, his vibrant spirit dimming. It was then that Lady Alara stepped forward, shedding tears that glistened like diamonds on her pale cheeks, consoling the distraught king, shouldering the burden of her sister's disappearance. Yet beneath her sorrowful facade, a triumphant smile played. Her venomous plan had worked. The throne was now within her grasp. Months passed, seasons changed, and the king's health continued to deteriorate. With each passing day, he grew weaker, his coughs rattling in the silent chambers of the night. During one such bout, he summoned Lady Alara to his bedside, his voice hoarse and weak. In the dim lamplight, his face drawn and haggard, he confessed his suspicions, his belief that he had failed his beloved queen. "I fear I may have caused her to flee," he whispered, his words catching in his throat. "If anything befalls me, I leave the kingdom in your care, Alara. Find her, bring her back. Our love, our kingdom, it all rests on her return." And so, with the weight of a kingdom and a dying king's love on her shoulders, Lady Alara set out on a mission to find the missing queen. As she journeyed, her demeanor shifted, the mask of grief discarded, replaced by determination. Whispers followed her, rumors of a queen returned, but they were all but smoke and mirrors. Upon her return, the king rallied briefly, a flicker of hope in his dimming eyes. But fate, it seemed, had other plans. As the sun set on that fateful day, the king breathed his last, his spirit finally finding peace. Lady Alara, now the sole ruler of the kingdom, mourned the loss of her brother. Yet, secretly, a sinister smile played on her lips. Her ambitions had been realized. the throne was hers. Yet the memory of the spirited young queen who had captured the king's heart refused to fade. Whispered tales kept her spirit alive, a haunting reminder of what could have been. The end of the king's reign marked a turning point in the kingdom's history. Under Elar's rule, a chill wind seemed to blow, extinguishing the warmth that had radiated from the former royal couple. The queen's absence created a void that went beyond the physical, a void that seeped into the very soul of the kingdom. Years rolled on, each one etching lines of weariness on Lady Ilara's face. The kingdom prospered, but it was a prosperity built on a foundation of fear. The vibrancy that had once defined the realm was now but a faded memory, a ghost of merriment past. In the tapestry of the kingdom, the queen's absence was a gaping hole, a stark reminder of the life and love that had flourished within its walls. Now, every full moon, when the shadows dance and the wind whispers secrets through the trees, they say the ghost of the queen walks the corridors of the citadel, forever searching, forever hoping to find the love that was brutally stolen from her. The tale of the queen serves as a haunting reminder that sometimes love isn't enough. It cannot conquer all, not even the darkest of curses or the coldest of hearts. In the end, all that remains is a legacy of what could have been and the chilling echo of a love story cut tragically short. Did the queen escape the curse, or did the castle walls claim another victim? The answer lies buried in the heart of the citadel, shrouded in shadows and whispered in the rustling of old, dry leaves. Perhaps the dagger still waits, its curse unbroken, its thirst for new tales of woe unquenched. Or maybe the queen's spirit wanders, seeking solace, her story carried on the winds of change. Which ending do you believe? Let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Together, we'll keep these stories alive, ensuring that even in the darkest of corners, love and bravery shine through. Until next time, stay curious, stay brave, and keep listening for the whispers of forgotten tales. Thank you for watching.